big RAV event and recovering. Anyways, we're here in the space to talk about Venom, secure by design, scalable by nature. We're going to pass the mic to, I believe, is Ivan behind the Venom Dev account. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's me. Thank you for having me.
For sure, for sure. So obviously we have quite a few things to cover today. One, that big hackathon prize, but we're here to talk more about Venom, what it is, what you can do. I'll actually bring up my experience playing with it last night. But let's, who's Ivan? What are you guys doing here? How did you get into Web3? What has been your journey so far?
Yeah, so actually I'm seasoned software developer. So I started as a backend developer, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. And my friend asked me to join ETH Berlin hackathon at 217, I believe. So that's how I started. And from that time, I decided to switch into Web3 full time and fully. So I worked for I will want to name companies, big companies, working on backend as well, but mostly research about different blockchains, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and at that time, EOS was kind of launching. So yeah, and then uh, the DAO space opened, and I started contributing to various DAOs. So with my sort of experience researches, something like that. So yeah.
Very cool. I mean, God, you're throwing out EOS. I remember Dan Larimer and all Block One flashback from the past. That's so awesome. Very awesome. So did that spark you to create Venom? Is that what kind of led you as you built to the space? You saw an opportunity in this? What exactly is Venom in general?
So in general, Venom is a blockchain, is a public blockchain, employing both multi-chain architecture and multi-threading to enable parallel smart contract execution. And it is important to mention that the smart contracts here are asynchronous, and they are written in TSOL, which is pretty much like Solidity. But we adjusted it. We hacked the compiler a bit, the original compiler, to work with asynchronous architecture and generate bytecode for TVM.
Yeah, I was actually. Go ahead.
Just finishing that the TVM stands for threaded VM. So yeah, basically that's it.
Definitely. Yeah. I was actually playing with it last night, and it's instead of having an ERC20 standard, you guys have something called a TIP3. And so the differences between the ERC20 and the system that you guys use is, and I'm just going to use this as an example because it's the most popular one for everybody's into Pepe coin, right? You have this smart contract and you have these wallets, and then the wallets refer to the smart contract for the balance, correct?
Yes.
And then
Basically we use the blockchain as a huge mapping. Instead of storing the whole mapping of accounts and balances inside the single ERC20 contract, we have a root contract with metadata and separate wallets contracts for each user.
So theoretically, you have this EOA wallet that controls a smart contract wallet, and then it refers to it as the blockchain as the balance checker in a sense, right?
Well, actually, notion of EOA, all our accounts are abstract accounts. So even a native, even to store native coins, you need to deploy a smart contract which will operate your balance. And outside of a blockchain, you only have signature to sign messages.
That's pretty dope. I vibe with it. It's something new to experiment with. It's pretty cool. So the white paper, it mentions that Venom is designed to be a scalable, efficient platform. Can you explain how you achieved this and what measures do you have in place to ensure the scalability as the platform grows?
All right. So we have, I would say it like that. So we have the two dimensions of scalability. One like imagine like horizontal and vertical, but it's not correct in technical terms. But the analogy is following. So the horizontal way to scale is a multi-chain architecture where um, any community or product or application can launch within the Venom network, can launch a separate blockchain which will be processed by validators, community validators, according to the rules which you can customize. And like employing the modular architecture, you can take like VM or take networking layer, adjust it for your needs, or just use originally, and the join the master chain as a separate work chain. So this is a horizontal way. The vertical way is within one work chain, within a single work chain. When the load increases, the work chain automatically splits the account space and starting to process the accounts in parallel.
Awesome, awesome. So, by planning to involve the community for the development, you're looking at probably adding a governance system as well as a validation system. Like how intense is running your own validation in the system with the community, like with governance and stuff like that?
Do you mean the base work chain layer, like how we currently aim to run Venom, or like yeah, because we only now have testnet, which obviously shouldn't be governed.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Very, very cool. So obviously the big elephant in the room is that you guys are having literally almost $250,000 hackathon prize pool, $225,000. It's a big amount, right? It's one of the bigger hackathons that I've seen around. People want me to build a smart contract for like $500, right? So having a chance at a quarter mil prize pool is amazing, right? For any developer out there, I'm pretty sure that's what kind of brought a lot of people into the space right now to see what's happening. So can you tell us more about the hackathon? What tracks you guys are looking? What is the Venom team looking for hackathon submissions, and how long it is, and how do people get started?
Oh, right. I forgot to to switch on my microphone. So yeah, basically the price pool, yeah, exactly, is a little bit more than 200,000 or $200,000, and we have three like main tracks, for which the main prize is 30, then 20, then 10, and running up with 3,000 for like honorary appreciations for participants. And you may notice that if you sum up the numbers, it's not exactly the 225. So we have additional like prize by Hacken, which is a free audit for leading for winners basically. And the tracks are CBDC and DeFi and stablecoins. Second one is Web3, NFT, gaming, metaverses, that stuff. And the third is tools, infrastructure, I don't know, like libraries, tools for developers, developer experience, um, like something you can, like when having an actual developer experience, you can maybe find some space to improve. So we really appreciate such contributions as well.
Yeah, very cool. I actually played with it last night, go through the docs, and I like to get down and dirty with the things I talk about. And I was messing around with Locklift. It was actually pretty smooth. I was able to get through the simple token cell on there. Heads up for everybody that wants to participate. When you do requests from the faucet, you do have to send a request. You don't get them right away. It takes about a day or about a couple hours. Is that correct, Ivan?
Yeah, actually, when I played with Venom Network, I I just used our Venom testnet campaign, do some tasks, claim some tokens for deployments. So yeah.
So just a heads up for everybody that's looking to start getting started in this hackathon. Definitely do your request now. It does require you to connect your GitHub, and then you verify what you're looking to get. Many of these like faucet farmers are killing the game for everybody, but just a heads up for everybody that's out there. Also, it was really smooth. I actually like the way the layout works. It feels like Solidity, but it feels different, right? So I am a smart contract developer, and it wasn't too bad, honestly. The local test network does require using some Docker, and so as a Windows developer, Docker is always scary to me. But I think when I started to read the docs to when I actually got to the end of the simple token sale, it was about 45 minutes, and that's me including some throwing in some chicken nuggets in the air fryer, right? So it wasn't too bad for people that don't want to like learn anything brand new. I felt like it was pretty straightforward and smooth on there.
Yeah, thank you very much for feedback, and feel free to jump in dev chat in Discord, join discussions, suggest some improvements. Our core team and infrastructure team are working hard 24/7 to improve everything and make your both developer and testnet experience as much as possible, like the better as it possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been talking a lot more on the back end, but there's opportunity for the front end too, right? And I think the standard for all EVM is kind of like Ethers, slowly VMs coming in there. You guys have, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, what is the front end toolkit that connects you to the Venom blockchain?
Yeah, it's called Everscaling Page Provider, or also we have some alternatives, but mainly is in Page Provider. And yeah, it's pretty much the same developer experience as Web3.js. So
Got it. Very cool. Yeah, so there is opportunities for that as well in the hackathon, correct? For the tooling and the DeFi
yeah, for
price
sure.
pools.
And also, it's worth mentioning that after this AMA, it will be followed up by developer introduction, and then it will be followed up by introductory workshops, which will go out like day by day and onboard everyone step by step on how to deploy your contract, how to connect front end, etc., etc.
Yeah, let's keep talking about the workshops. Do you have a schedule for that for the participants, everybody listening in? Is there a set cohort start date? And when does the hackathon actually start?
Yes, actually, a hackathon already started, so feel free to submit your bidls on the DarHacks interface with your ideas and work on them. And the workshop schedule is also available on DarHacks page of the hackathon.
I'm going to try to look that up so anybody listening to the space a little bit later can look that up. And so, what is the criteria that you're using to judge the projects? Are you looking for creativity? We have a lot of hardcore coders. We have people that are UX designers. We have a lot of people that are idea thought leaders. What are you looking for in the scope for all the submissions?
Well, it's pretty straightforward as in any hackathon. So there are like main components. The first one is the perfection of how technical perfection. I mean, how deeply you're involved in and how dirty are your hands. And of course, we will look on the code and assess like your ability to understand actually the specifics for TVM development. So don't think that copy pasting Solidity smart contracts from EVM will work. The second one is the quality of your pitch, because like at the end of the game, we're looking forward to grow our ecosystem. So we want to be sure that teams understand the product market fit, etc., etc. But that's my personal opinion. Like I'm technical, but I'm just like I believe it will work like that. So yeah, so these are main 2 points we will look into.
For sure, for sure. For those looking for a little bit more information, if you go to hackathon.venom.network, and that's Venom, like Spider-Man's nemesis Venom, If you go to hackathon.venom network, you can find all the details, where to sign up, all the series of schedules on there. So it looks like the closing ceremony is June 17th. It started on the 8th of May yesterday. So the workshop and education developer introduction actually is starting today. And then there's a development period of May 8th through June 10th. So definitely jump in there, follow up, definitely follow Venom Dev profile and get into more details. It's not that bad. Like for me as a developer, and I see a new project come out, it's like I don't really want to learn a new SDK. I don't want to sit down and do this and that. It really isn't that bad for me to do the adjustments, and the docs are pretty decent on there. So definitely don't be afraid to mess around, especially with a large prize pool like this. It's not too many times you see an opportunity like this, and is it a layer one blockchain? Correct?
Yeah, layer one.
So definitely. So, if we have any questions out there in the audience, definitely go ahead and raise your hand, do a request. I am looking to see who is, out there asking questions. This is like really, really good opportunity. I'm really interested in doing this. It's a 1 month hackathon for a chance at $250,000 plus a free audit. I mean, all the time we throw hackathons together, and we always have these cool ideas and we have these MVPs, and then like we try to get an audit and it costs us way more than any bounty prize out there. So having the ability to get an audit with your hackathon is pretty legit. So I see we have one request. So Demo, and Patrick as well. So I'll go ahead and Patrick, go for it.
I am very excited to see what Venom is doing. I think Venom is a very large ecosystem. I've seen the Launchpad, the Explorer, the NFT marketplace. There's so much in Venom. So I really congratulate you guys. But my question has to do with one thing the speaker just said now. He said layer one, but what I've been reading about Venom, it says layer 0. So how do I reconcile layer 0 and now he's saying layer 1? That's my problem.
Yeah. Actually, yes. So layer 0 is a new buzzword, and for multi-chain, when you have multi-chain architecture, of course layer 0 is much more applicable and more relevant. So but I said layer 1 just because like you have a wallet, you have like separate native currency, so that's it. But in terms of multi-chain architecture, of course there is possibility to launch like your blockchains on top of the network. So it's layer 0.
Okay, so I've been participating in the test network and I've collected like 8 NFTs. I mean 7, one remaining, which belong to the Venom pool. So my question now is when will the Venom pool come live so that we can complete our testing activities? And why is there so much bugs? The bugs on the testnet side is much. So how are you fixing that?
As far as I remember, the Venom pools were under maintenance, some maintenance recently. So I encourage you to try again because for now everything operates smoothly.
Okay. You mean the Venom pool is back and functioning?
Sorry, can you please rephrase or repeat?
Yeah, I mean the Venom pool is what has been keeping many of us from completing the testnet task. So are you saying that particular task is now
Sorry,
running
actually, I'm now trying to touch the Venom pools, and yes, it's still on maintenance, but we are
okay.
working 24/7 to fix that and launch. So testnet is testnet. Bear with us, please.
Okay. Thank you. That's all for now.
I'm just going to chime in and say if you check venom.network.com and you look at the Venom pools, it says projects undergoing maintenance as well. So always check in with the team and check up the websites for updates as well. We also have Sonomu as a speaker. Go ahead, Sonomu.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Please shoot your question.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you
Hello, can
okay.
you? Yeah, I really want to appreciate the Venom. It's a nice work. I've run through the text. I've gone through the tasks. I've done all. So I wanted to know when it's coming to be into the mainnet section and if it has any affiliate.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm not really do have expertise. I'm not capable for like announcements on mainnet launch. Just bear with us.
Okay.
Okay. If we have any other questions out of the space, go ahead and do your requests. I'm going to go ahead and mute you if you've already spoken. I'm going to go ahead and mute you down. But yeah, if you have any other statements, Ivan, for anything that might be, what the future is for after the hackathon, what you're planning to do as well. And we have, hopefully I didn't destroy your name, Rayan, on there. So go for it as well. And then hold that thought, Ivan.
Yeah, I would really appreciate to hear more questions on hackathon. So if there are some potential hackathon participants, please feel free to raise your hand and ask. If this current conversation was intended to be on hackathon launch and on Venom itself. Regarding some additional stuff, I would mention the important buzzword like account abstraction because it's really now buzzing the space. So we have it out of the box. It's natively built in, and it's really easy to use. So you don't need to mess up with like single entry point contract, for example, like it's done on Ethereum. You don't need to learn all that EIP to like figure out how to work with that. You simply like write smart contract and send messages into it, and that's it.
Definitely have a question about that after, but I'm going to go ahead and let Ryan ask his question, and then I'll ask you about that. And it looks like the account abstraction talk left them speechless. So I'll go ahead and ask my question about the account abstraction on there. So when you guys run your wallets right on the network, how do you pay gas? Does it run through a relayer on the network, or does it pass through? Like how does it work? Because with the EIP 4337, don't quote me on that number, for Ethereum, you have to run through like a relay section, so you're dependent on that relayer
Yeah,
to run the transaction for
got
you.
your question. So basically, how blockchain works? You have like these external messages which are just like payloads signed by signature, and they don't carry any value. And so the question is reasonable. How do you pay gas? So you have this account and it has balance, and when you shoot external message into it, you have you have several phases. So the first phase is you're credited with small portion of gas which are enough to perform the signature checks or some another way of checking if this external message is authorized to be processed by a smart contract method. Once you perform the check, you call the like specific TVM instruction called accept, so that you're telling that you're ready to spend your smart contract balance to execute further logic. And execution of user logic is in turn split into two phases. The first phase is compute phase, where you like work with data, work with storage, and the second phase is when you want to interact with other smart contracts, you send messages to it. And when you send messages from your smart contract to another smart contracts, you attach some value so that you pay for further execution on another accounts. So basically, each account either pays for itself when accepting external message, or it pays for specific smart contracts which it wants to interact with.
That's so awesome, so interesting. Now, just not to scare everybody that's listening in the space during the hackathon, the user really doesn't have to worry about this because it's already done by the network, correct? Like it's already built into the system, correct?
Well, actually, are you did you told the statement that a user don't shouldn't worry about gas, or I misheard you?
No, it doesn't worry about creating the relayers or
Ah,
anything. It's already
yes,
built into the
yes.
system.
It's not. It's no, no, no. It's all goes through the single RPC interface.
Yeah, just for the developer saying, "Oh, I don't know how to do that,"
No,
right?
no, no,
So I
no,
don't
no,
want
no.
to
You
scare them.
have RPC.
Totally
You
easy.
have RPC, and you compose payloads locally and shoot it to RPC.
Yeah, gas is gas, everybody. There's no free rides anywhere. Ryan, go for it.
So my question was actually like, how the gas fee going to be? Are you going to be experiencing the high gas fee on the testnet, or there are going to be more low gas fee for the testnet and high speed?
Um, did the question was about high gas fee?
Yeah, exactly.
So you may think that there are a lot of gas fees, but if you look, because you attach a lot of venoms to your when signing, when put the signature, but if you look on the Explorer, you can see that once the transaction is finished, you have this change back. So you put a little bit more to make sure that execution will go smoothly. And once all the chain of smart contracts executed successfully, they just give you a cashback, like sort of like that. So everything on top of processed fees just comes back to your account.
Okay, thank you for the question.
I think that was a thank you. I'm not sure. Block Pound, go for it.
Hey guys, thanks for having this session here today. I'm Anthony, a founder of Block Pound, and very much in the hackathon. And I did have some questions regarding the programmable NFTs, Ivan. If you can share a little bit about that, I haven't been able to really find any information on them.
Okay, for sure. So the NFT standard is pretty much like tip 3 standard. So it's called tip 4, and the architecture is pretty much the same. So you have the collection smart contract and you have NFT smart contract. And each NFT is a separate smart contract. And it's meant to be deployed on the separate account. And this means that you can tweak the NFT code with your like custom any custom interface and any logic. And which is more important is that the metadata is rendered by smart contract itself, so you can adjust which string, which exact JSON is rendered depending on some attributes or something. So imagine you have a game engine built on smart contracts, and you give this game engine allowance to perform some actions, or to put some, I don't know, uh, put some data in users NFTs. And this is a like a notion, as I understand, the notion of programmable NFT.
Okay. Now, as the adjustment done by via a property, an identifiable property?
Well, yeah, I think that like we are on the same ground, that so we have the same understanding. So basically,
Okay.
yeah, so your software, your decentralized application can if of course, if you're like wrote the code for this NFT to allow that. So if you if you done all of that, you enable like because it's all like separate smart contracts, so it's much easier to handle and to develop, because when you have the single smart contract with all the huge mappings for you, like working out, like you have all the owners, you have all the attributes.
Oh, so you use separate you use additional smart contracts for each property,
Yeah,
or for each dynamic
for,
change, for example.
for each NFT, each NFT is a smart contract.